You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up, the coffee's actually hot, the birds are singing, and then you twist the key in the ignition only to have a little amber engine icon stare back at you like a judgmental house cat?
That is remarkably specific, Tiger. Who's the cat in this scenario, the truck or the dashboard?
Definitely the truck. It's got that I know something you don't look. It's the malfunction indicator light or the check engine light for those of us who don't like using four syllables when one will do. Most people see that glow and feel their bank account preemptively flinch, but honestly, it's just the car trying to send you a text message in a language from 1996.
And today we're playing translator. I've seen you do this 1,000 times, pulling out that little plastic box, plugging it in, and suddenly you're a wizard. But for the rest of us, it feels a bit like trying to read a doctor's handwriting while they're riding a roller coaster.
Easy does it. You don't want to mash the pins. It's all about the OBD2, onboard diagnostics, second generation. It's been the universal language of cars in the US since the mid-90s. Before that, every manufacturer had their own secret handshake. You needed a different plug for a Ford than you did for a Chevy. It was a mess, like trying to charge a phone in the early 2000s.
So the EPA basically stepped in and said, everyone uses the same plug so we can actually tell if you're polluting the air.
Exactly. They forced the industry to get its act together. Now, whether you're driving a sensible hybrid or a tractor that sounds like a thunderstorm, they all have this trapezoidal port usually hiding under the dash by your left knee just waiting to spill the beans.
Okay, so walk me through it. I'm standing in my driveway, the light is on, and I've got one of these scanners I bought online for $40. What's the first move?
Well, first off, don't do what I did back in 98 and try to jam the plug in while the engine's running. That's a great way to confuse the computer and potentially spark a very expensive conversation with your wife. Turn the car off. Find the port. It's usually near the fuse box or the steering column. Plug it in tight, then flip the key to the on position, but don't crank the engine. You want the electronics awake, but the piston staying put.
And the scanner just knows?
Most of them will start talking to the car immediately. It'll ask for the VIN sometimes, or you'll have to tell it if you're driving a Chrysler or a Toyota. Then you hit scan and wait. It feels a bit like waiting for a toaster to pop. And then out comes the DTC, the diagnostic trouble code.
And that's where people get scared. It's not a sentence, it's just a letter and 4 numbers. Like P0420. It sounds like a flight number.
It's code, plain and simple. The first letter is the map. P is powertrain. That's your engine and transmission, the heavy lifters. B is body, like your airbags or power locks. C is chassis, usually the brakes or steering. And U is network, which is basically the car's internal internet failing to send an email.
So if I see a P, I should probably pay attention. But if I see a B, maybe my seatbelt sensor is just being grumpy?
Pretty much. But here's the trap people fall into. Let's say you get a P135. You look it up and it says oxygen sensor heater circuit malfunction. Most folks run to the auto parts store, buy an $80 sensor, swap it out, and the light stays on.
I feel the frustration in your voice. You've done this, haven't you?
Oh, I've spent more on sensors I didn't need than I've spent on good whiskey. The code isn't a repair manual, it's a symptom. It's the car saying, well, hey, I expected this result here, but I got that instead. That O2 sensor code might mean the sensor is dead, or it might mean a mouse chewed the wire leading to it. The computer can't tell the difference between a broken part and a broken wire. It just knows the circuit is open.
That's a huge distinction. It's like the smoke detector going off. It doesn't mean the toaster is on fire. It just means there's smoke in the kitchen. Could be a burnt bagel, could be the curtains.
Spot on. My neighbor once replaced his entire catalytic converter, $1,000 job, because of a P0420 code. Turned out he had an exhaust leak the size of a pinhole 3 inches upstream. The computer saw the wrong air mixture and blamed the big expensive box because that's the last thing in line.
So the pro move is to treat the code as a starting line, not the finish line.
Exactly. You use it to narrow the search. And there's this thing called freeze frame data. It's like a black box for your car. When that light trips, the computer takes a snapshot of exactly what was happening at that microsecond, how fast you were going, how hot the engine was, how much fuel was being squirted in.
Wait, so it's like CSI minivan?
Exactly. If the code says the engine is lean and the freeze frame shows it only happens when the engine is cold and idling, that points you toward a vacuum leak. If it happens at highway speeds, maybe it's a fuel pump getting tired. It's those little details that keep you from throwing parts at a problem, like you're tossing coins into a fountain.
Okay, let's talk about the clear button, because that's the most tempting button in the world. It's the make the bad thing go away button.
The siren song of the reset. Look, clearing the code doesn't fix the car. It just deletes its memory. It's like clearing your browser history. The website still exists. You're just pretending you weren't there. If you have a legitimate mechanical failure, that light is going to come back on, sometimes in 10 minutes, sometimes in 2 days.
But there are times when it's okay to clear it, right? Like the infamous loose gas cap?
Yeah, if you didn't click the cap 3 times after filling up, the system thinks there's a leak in the fuel vapor recovery. That'll trigger a code. Tighten the cap, clear the code, and if it stays off, you're golden. But if you're clearing a cylinder misfire code just to pass an inspection, you're playing a dangerous game.
Because the readiness monitors will tell on you, right? I tried to help a friend with this once. He cleared a code right before his smog check, and they failed him anyway.
Oh, they'll catch you every time. When you clear codes, you also reset the readiness monitors. These are self-tests the car runs while you drive. The computer won't vouch for the car until it's been through a drive cycle, maybe 20 miles of mixed city and highway driving. If you pull into the inspection station and your monitors say, "not ready," the inspector knows you just wiped the slate. It's the automotive equivalent of show and tell when you didn't bring any toys.
So you actually have to fix the thing. Imagine that.
Now, if you're getting serious, you move past the cheap readers into the actual scan tools. These show you live data. You can watch the oxygen sensors dancing in real time. You can see the spark plugs firing. It's like going from a telescope to an MRI.
Are those the ones that can actually talk back to the car? Like tell the windows to roll down or the fuel pump to turn on?
Bidirectional control. That's the high rent district. If I suspect the fuel pump is dead, I can use the tool to tell the car, "turn on the pump right now." If I hear it whir, I know the pump and the wiring are fine, and maybe the problem is the relay or the computer itself. It saves hours of crawling around in the dirt with a multimeter.
I'm guessing those don't cost $40 on the internet.
Don't tell my wife, but that one on the bench costs more than my first 3 cars combined. But for most folks, a basic Bluetooth dongle and a good app on your phone is plenty. It gives you the power to walk into a mechanic's shop and say, "I have a PO301, which is a misfire on cylinder 1, instead of saying, "the car makes a funny wub-wub sound when I go uphill."
It levels the playing field. You aren't just a victim of the mystery light, you're an informed owner.
And that's the real win. Even if you don't want to get grease under your fingernails, knowing what's happening under that hood makes you the boss of the machine. The light isn't a demand for cash light, it's a conversation starter.
So, what happened with the pickup? Did the judgmental cat stop staring?
Turns out the air intake hose had a crack in it no bigger than a fingernail, $5 of specialized tape, and she's purring again. If I'd gone to a shop without checking the code, they might have sold me a new mass airflow sensor for $300.
The power of a little data.
And a little patience. That's the thing with making or fixing anything. You can't rush the diagnosis. Whether it's a wobbly table leg or a rough idle, the problem usually tells you exactly where it is if you're willing to listen.
I think the takeaway here is don't fear the light, just get a translator.
Precisely. Grab a reader, find your port, and start listening to what your car has to say. Just maybe don't do it while you're in the drive-thru. It ruins the mood for the person behind you.
Fair enough. See you next time in the den, Tiger.
Keep your tools sharp and your codes clear, Alex.